Start talking. All right, gamers, welcome back to Point Park Esports League of Legends. I'm Gail, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Ari, also known as XBJ. You might have seen me from the Valorant casts. We're here doing League this time.
Yeah, how do you feel? It's your first League stream, or is it?
Yeah, it's my first League stream. I'm a little scared, but, you know, hopefully I'm not going to be as scared as the players are today as they take on University of Ottawa Esports Grey in the beginning of the season for CLOL. And, you know, fresh new start, we got new season
year.
And new map updates, right?
There's a lot of new League of Legends map to update. The map itself has changed drastically. The lanes are bigger. I'm pretty sure it's the red side of the jungle that's changed, or maybe it's the blue side. I'm not too good with the jungles. I'm a support main, guys. I don't go in there often.
All looks like grass to me.
But there's a lot of map changes. There's been a lot of Baron Pit changes, and the whole Void... Well, I don't want to call it the Void update, because it's not a Void update, which a lot of us are upset about. There's a lot of Void changes with the Void monsters. We have an addition of Void grubs. And since the last time we played, we do have a new champion.
Oh, this is news to me, as I did not know that there...
Well, they're coming out with a new champion, but I'm pretty sure Hui has been added since the last time you've seen us on stream. He's kind of old now, given that it's been about a month, but he is an interesting champion to see in the mid lane just because he has a total of 10 abilities.
That sounds like a lot, considering I think the one I've played once had 4.
Most champions have 4, except Aphelios, but we're not going to talk about Aphelios.
10 seems like a lot. You know, like, not even just the sense of, yes, you have the 4 abilities, 10 abilities. That's also 10 keybinds you have to remember.
It's not even keybinds. You still use the Q, W, E, R. However, to get the other abilities, it's like a combo. So each Q, W, E all have 3 different like paints. I'm gonna call them because he's an art mage. In your Q, you have QQ, QW, QE. W has WQ, WW, WE, and E has EQ, EW, EE, and then you have your R. So you just gotta remember which one does what.
www.pointparkesports is going to win today.com.
True. Speaking of WWWs, you should check out our socials. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We have TikTok now, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We have TikTok. Check us out. Follow us. We just posted a video on our YouTube that you should totally watch.
That we're both in.
We're both in it. Yeah, that's exactly why you have to watch it now.
Yep. So if you like us, you gotta watch it. If you don't like us,
you have to watch it anyways, because then
you
can like look at us. And I make a lot of stupid faces, and so if you don't like me, you can make fun of my stupid faces. You have to watch it.
Yeah, I'm the host, so basically what I'm gonna be doing today is the same exact thing as the video, which is not knowing what I'm doing at all.
I'm going to not do the same thing I did in the video. I was drawing pictures in the video because it's Pictionary.
It was Pictionary. Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, the video says it anyways, and it's good to know what you're going in on.
Yeah.
Like, what are you getting into, like in League of Legends?
Which is unfortunate for me because I'm not knowing what I'm getting into.
Well, it's okay because you're not the one jumping into the team fight like our players today.
Right. Well, I'm not the one playing.
Exactly. And that's why we don't got to worry about it.
Yeah, it would be a whole separate problem. And that's why
I play support.
Be a whole separate problem if I was playing today. Be a whole...
Oh, you and me both.
Well, you'd be better than I would be.
I play Lux. I stand back and throw R out every 5 minutes. Not even. It's actually a 30-second cooldown. Not even. Sometimes it's like 25.
I've played one character once. So.
Yeah, nah, I don't even play ranked. It would be so Jover, if you will.
So Jover, yes. But unfortunately, well, no, not unfortunately. Fortunately, the game is not Jover, but the time that we have standing here and waiting is Jover because we've got ourselves some map picks.
Look at that!
And so on the left side is actually Point Park, and on the right side is University of Ottawa. So just pay attention to the names on the bottom as opposed to the colors.
Yeah. So as of right now, it looks like the bans we have from Point Park, Point Park has banned both Viego and Zinzao, which does seem to be jungle-focused bans, and University of Ottawa has banned Jax and Aatrox, which are more top-focused bans, which is really interesting because I know that their top laner was an Aatrox player, from what I know.
Interesting. And the bans go for both teams or just the one team?
Both teams.
So yeah, so that's going to be really, really big, as now that makes it so that they can't play it either. And now we see that those final picks come on out.
Yeah, the final bans for the first round of bans seem to be Yone and Brand, which is a mid ban and a support ban. I don't know. I've seen a lot of Brand jungle this season, so that Brand ban could have been for anywhere on the map. And it looks like our first pick for Point Park University is Ashe.
And Ashe is good.
Ashe is good.
Ashe is what at least I heard, I think, that was going to be something that we were going to play. So it looks like that is planned for, and that is part of the game plan for today. I mean, they're going to make it work. Well, they're going to have to, even if they, don't necessarily want that as their first choice.
Ashe is an interesting ADC because all of her auto attacks have a passive slow, which means when she hits you, you get really slow. And her E ability allows her to get vision on certain parts of the map by sending out a bird that gives them vision. And the first pick for Ottawa is Senna. I love playing Senna. However, I do know how painful it is to play against a Senna.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, they, I don't know. Kind of looks like Medusa a little bit.
That's fair. She's not the Medusa champion, but she is really cool.
Okay.
There's a lot of lore with it that I can get into, but gameplay-wise, she is more of a support. However, she can be played in the ADC role because she is a very attack damage-heavy support.
Okay.
And she has an ability where she takes souls, and then it gives her more auto-attack range and lethality, and I'm pretty sure it's auto-attack damage, but I would have to actually look up on her passive. I don't know off the top of my head. Second picks come in. It looks like we got a Lilia pick for University of Ottawa and a Azir pick for Point Park. So that's their jungle and our mid laner.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell that, like, based on these first two picks, kind of what the focus is for each team. And although I may not know too much about it, I mean, you can see that it looks like the plans are already being set as we kind of have, the first of two for at least the third picks coming out too.
And Point Park now has Karma for the bot lane, so that's going to be an Ashe and Karma in the bot lane, which is going to be interesting to see, I think.
Yeah, I don't know much about this game, but I do hear the names Ashe and Karma a lot together. And that makes me think they either have really, really good synergy together, or they work super well. They're very powerful champions. And so, I wouldn't be surprised to see that them working together and being a strong kind of center point for this team play.
Yeah, Karma, her abilities focus on she has her basic abilities, and her ultimate ability that she has in the beginning of the game actually is just a power boost for her other abilities. So like it'll make her Q stronger and last a little bit longer. Okay. Instead of giving a shield to one person, she can give shields to multiple people, and it's really, really interesting to see. And it looks like the next pick we have for Ottawa is Swain. Now that Swain pick could be for anywhere on the map now that I'm thinking about it. I would like to think it's Swain Senna in the bot lane. However, I would not be surprised if I seen a Swain mid pick.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I mean, you have that first kind of period of bans, and then you have your first three picks, and then you have that second ban phase, as well as the second pick. So, if something maybe that you just forgot about, the other team was like, oh, they played a really good this character, you can keep it in track and see kind of what they're going for with their current composition of characters already, and you can try and attack what they're going for and try and maybe throw a loop in their plan.
And it looks like the next bans we got so far, we have a Shen and a Maokai ban from Ottawa, and we have an Ornn ban from Point Park and an Akali ban, since we don't actually know who their mid laner is, if that's Swain or not, and they don't know who our top laner is, or our jungler.
So, kind of question marks all on the board for both of these teams, I guess you could say, but you seem to be a little confused here. Is that...
Well, they're hovering Talon. I haven't seen a Talon in a game in a hot minute. And I'm not sure, because I know for a while there was a lot of people not playing Talon because he wasn't the greatest from my perception of it. But I am excited to see Talon with the new item changes since I haven't seen it yet. And I'm glad that I don't have to play against it, so I can just see it as a safe viewer from afar.
Yeah, and as we get this pick onto Highway, I know Highway is, at least from the games that I've seen from Point Park previously, seems to be kind of that like that not leader person, but like certainly is I would say the hype of the team.
Well, this is not necessarily picking for them. They're going to be switching along the way because Highway right now is in the bot lane position, and he picked a jungler, which is Nocturne, and Nocturne is really exciting to see with his darkness ability, which is really toxic to play against because suddenly you can't see.
Oh,
All you hear is a whisper of darkness, and then suddenly there's a man flying at you at 50 miles per hour.
well, that's not great.
No,
I do remember one character sends you to Brazil, but
that is Mordekaiser, who I don't think we're going to be seeing in this game. Maybe, I don't know, but our last pick is Cassante in the top lane. That is exciting to see. I really like Cassante as a character, as a champion. I think when he came out, a lot of us were scared because it's like, oh my gosh, they gave the Bruiser a dash. That's terrifying, but I think he's fairly balanced. And it looks like the last pick for Ottawa is their top laner, who locked in Garen. Nope. Yeah, Garen.
Garen.
I don't like Garen.
You don't like Garen
I don't
in
like
the sense
Garen.
of you don't like to play against Garen, you don't think Garen is good, you don't.
I don't like to play against Garen.
So it's one of those picks where it's a little scary. It's like it's just it could be one of those things that turns the tides of the game based off of just how one player plays.
Yeah, because my experience with playing with and against Garen players, Garen is an easy champion to pick up. He's one of the champions you get early on in the game, and a lot of his abilities are easy to understand. However, I have seen some Garen players not do too great. Though, as someone who does play a lot more of squishy champions, it is very terrifying to see a Garen run up on you, turn into a Beyblade, and then slam a holy sword down on your head, and suddenly you don't have a health bar anymore.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
No.
So again, Point Park, their team looks like Nujabes Forever, Kakid, Ribeiro, Highway, and All I Ask. Over on the other side, we got Key, Durag, Wadham, and
Hybe?
My
I
apologies.
ain't too hot at pronouncing names. I am very bad at words.
Words, English, that's why we sit on our computers and do not socialize. But unfortunately, we're
Exactly.
forced to socialize now for the pleasure of you guys and for, of course, the pleasure of the players competing today.
Exactly.
We gotta give them a little bit of a
a little
presentation,
bit of hype.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we are hyped to see these guys play.
Yeah.
And now we just have to wait for the delay
Right.
to prevent those stream snipers, because you can't be here to be a stream sniper. We don't appreciate you,
Yeah, no.
so we prevent this.
Stream snipers in any game, not great.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, unless we're talking custom lobbies and you're having fun with your friends in,
Custom lobbies.
I don't know, you're trying to make a YouTube video about doing some dumb stuff and you're making some weird plays, or you're trying to stage a YouTube video for views, but
Which is also funny. I've seen a lot of good staged League of Legends content.
I will have to get into that. I mean, I know that the outcome of this game right now is not exactly staged
Nope.
or scripted, but you might have the script, so I don't know what necessarily you expect, but what do you think going into this game? Just based off like comps, I'd say.
Based on the comps, it looks like Ottawa is very CC focused, save for Talon, because with Garen, when he turns into a Beyblade, he has a silence, which makes it impossible for you to use any of your abilities. Lilia, her ultimate is a sleep, which will just put you to sleep. Swain has a stun. Senna has a stun. It's a lot. They have a lot of CC and a lot more CC as compared to Point Park, because right now Point Park's only CC is Cassante has a stun, I think. I'm pretty sure it's like pushed against a wall. I'm not really sure how it works. All I know is that he can prohibit you from moving. Ash's ultimate is a stun, and Karma's W is a stun if you can stay in it long enough. However, Karma, and I'm pretty sure Cassante's CC is very situational, and it has to have certain things to be able to have them to stun, whereas Lilia, Swain, and Senna, as long as you hit your stun, well, Lilia an ability and then pressing the R button, you are pretty much set. So they're a very CC heavy comp, a very mobile heavy comp with Senna's E, Lilia's passive, and Talon's ability to jump over a wall, compared to Point Park, where their mobility mainly focuses around Karma and her E, as well as Nocturne being able to fly across the map. So I think it's going to be very difficult for Point Park to catch University of Ottawa with how much movement they have, and I think it's going to be very hard for us to even get close to them with their stuns.
That being said, though, I mean, you know, obviously both of these comps are picked for reasons. You know, it's just about the focus of either one, and you know, Point Park's ideologies for the game could be to focus on different things, and maybe it's not based on that kind of like, you know, sporadic team fight. I mean, obviously you got to win your team fights, but maybe focusing on getting that farming and just having a 5v5 full blown battle.
100%. Especially with the new map changes, it's very important to try and focus on getting those objectives, especially the objectives in top lane with Void Grubs and Herald and Baron. So I think with Point Park right here now, instead of going for the micro plays, like getting a lot of kills and getting everything, we can really focus. I keep saying Point Park can really focus on the macro gameplay and getting towers and getting objectives and just trying to get ahead without necessarily getting into a fight until maybe later when it's more team fight time and they're stronger and they know that they can face off against University of Ottawa.
Yeah, and something that I've seen from Point Park, of course, we don't necessarily know the play style of University of Ottawa, as we don't really get to see their games as we are in the Point Park facility. But, you know, that's kind of, at least from what I've seen in terms of Point Park, is they do find that really, really good early game, and they really are strong there. And then the question for a win, if they're going to win the map, kind of comes down to that mid-rounding. You know, do they make the right decision to, you know, maybe go for an objective or go for the right fight? And sometimes that will determine the outcome. So I think, honestly, Point Park is in a position to have this game in their control. It's just about making the right decisions.
And it looks like right now we are in the game. Our players are lining up around the objectives. Are we playing with the map change? Yeah, we are. I've been playing so much League recently, I almost forgot what the old map used to look like.
Yes, as I totally know what either of the maps look like.
Yeah, my eyes have actually adapted to the way our map looks. And just as a reminder, we got Nujabi's in the top lane, Kikid in the jungle, Ribeiro in the mid lane, Highway, and IVE in the bot lane. I think it was Ive, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you can see they're just kind of, I mean,
starting at red buff.
Yep, you got to get that lead as much as you can, like as early as you can. So, you know, doing whatever you can, getting. I mean, I know jungle is very, very popular for trying to get that gold advantage early, and you know, lane's just doing what they do, which is, you know, fighting with the minions, trying to maybe get a little bit of an advantage. But you know, it doesn't look like a fight.
And it looks like Garen's going to try and all in on the Cassante. So is the Swain. No, that's just a poke. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, that's just a poke. All in's a bad word to use, I think. I think I just misspoke. But it looks like they're going to be playing fairly aggressive lanes in all of the lanes, which would make it hard for Point Park to get those minions, but it looks like they're getting those minions anyways. Getting that CS score up, getting that gold, because minions are your only guaranteed source of gold in the game.
Oh, and that's what you meant by the Beyblade of Death right there. You just
yep.
kind of saw it out right there by that player, but
I hate that Beyblade. Oh, it is so painful to play against.
I mean,
both teams have a lot of poke too.
Yeah, I mean, poke. I mean, I feel like poke is going to be very, very common when it comes to kind of these earlier fights, as you're not going to be able to take out your enemy right away.
There's a fight going on in the top lane, it looks like, between Cassante and Garen. Looks like it might have fell off a bit, and Point Park has pushed up to Ottawa's first bot tower, trying to get a couple hits off, trying to get maybe a little bit of a plate down. But it does look like Ottawa has us pushed up in both mid lane and top lane, which would leave them kind of open for a gank, maybe from Point Park.
I'm gonna pretend I know what that means, but that's okay, because, you know, as long as nobody really loses their life, I mean, that's really the big thing. It's about, you know, staying alive. Don't give the advantage to the enemy by going down early. I mean, early game is really, really important for you to stay alive, because you're going to be gaining so much, you know, ACS and gold and all that kind of good stuff that you're going to get relatively quickly towards the earlier game, and you don't want to fall behind too fast.
This is true. The less kills that either team gives to the other, the better off it is. Because especially when it comes to champions like Lilia and Senna and Swain, the more kills they have, the harder it is to fight against them later on. However, the same could be said for Nocturne in Azir and Ashe. The farther ahead they are it gets a little silly when you're really far ahead.
Right, and you can see, I would say a decent amount of gold lead over coming for.
It looks like there's an engage going on in the bot lane. Highway on Ashe is very, very low right now, relying on Ive to get him out of there. And Lilia has tried to invade on Point Park's jungle. Both mid lanes rotate down to try and join in on the fight. Ribeiro is ignited, and First Blood goes to the Talon in the mid lane. He tries to jump over the wall to escape. Nocturne in the middle of fighting both people at the same time. Will he be able to escape? It looks promising.
Oh, it's gonna be close. He gets one at
Kakid
least.
gets the kill right before Durag kills him as well. I lost my train of thought halfway through that.
I mean, not all lost, and at least you get one for your troubles, but I'm now struggling a little bit down with Highway, and I mean, it looks like the health advantage is in favor of uOttawa, and I wouldn't be surprised here if maybe one of these players goes down. It's gonna be really, really close, and yeah,
And
Highway
gets
goes
the
down.
kill on Highway.
Yeah, I mean,
Swain is a very difficult champion to play against, very fun to play. But when you're against a Swain is a very, very aggressive laner, which it coincides with his lore of kind of being a dictator.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we see kind of these fights coming out from uOttawa, and they're managing to kind of come out on top, and you have to wonder, is that because of the gold lead that they've already established? I mean, obviously, with getting those kills, you're going to be increasing that gold advantage quite a lot, but, these kills, these are a big deal, especially in early game, and, Point Park, they kind of have to find a way to get that lead, or that lead that they might be a little short on right now, and they got to get that back.
100%. It looks like both mid lane and top lane are coming down in the Point Park's jungle to try and chase Kakid out. And it looks like they did steal Gromp from him, which is really unfortunate.
Man, that was mine, man.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying
Sorry.
right?
And it looks like they're rotating up to try and get those Void Grubs to help with the tower push. However, that gives Point Park an opportunity to start setting up for the dragon, getting that Scuttle Crab to get that vision in that bot river. We love Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, Scuttle Crab. That's has nothing to do with Crab Rave.
First Void Grub. I thought I saw the first Void Grub. No, Ottawa has gotten all 3 of the first set of Void Grubs. However, Point Park is using that as an opportunity to take the first dragon of the game. Bot lane tries to rotate up to stop them. However, our mid lane rotates down to stop them as well. So now it is a 4v2. Their mid laner looks like he's also rotating down, but not with enough time. Point Park gets the first dragon.
Yeah, that's big. And you could see maybe one of these players falling down, but it looks like the disengage comes out, and a dragon for one side, and yeah, I think you were talking about the crazy worms for the other side, and both teams probably got what they wanted, but maybe that's one is more important for the other. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
It all depends on how it's used. Those Void Grubs are gonna come really in handy if they decide to push, but the dragon in the long run is better because we are one more point closer to having Dragon Soul. It looks like Talon tried to invade on Point Park's jungle once again, however failed to get a kill, which leaves our mid laner able to get more CS and hopefully try and catch up a bit to that Talon with his 52 CS compared to our 43.
And once again, this is a best of 3, correct?
That is correct.
So, it's not detrimental if you necessarily lose this map. Of course, you don't want to. Of course, you want to have that kind of 2-0 and win flawless and get out scot-free. But, if something seems to go a little bit, haywire, reset and take back what you learned from this previous game and use it in the next one. But, I mean, that is very, very far from now, as we are just within our first 10 minutes of this first game.
Yes. And it looks like now Point Park, everyone's back alive. The score still 1-3. We haven't lost anybody more. And it's okay that Point Park has not killed anybody else yet. Let's see how the rest of this game goes. It looks like Garen, again, is going to try and engage on Cassante, get him away from the wave. However, Azir is going to be poking Talon away with his soldiers. And bot lane has pushed up to the tower, maybe to get a plate. And they did get a tower plate.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
but that is Swain's ult.
Oh, that is a circle. Yeah, that looks very dangerous.
The longer they stay in that circle, the more that circle kind of stays around him. So when Swain ults, what you really want to do is try and get away from him and stay away from him until his ultimate runs out.
To put it into Overwatch terms, Ramatra, if anybody understands Overwatch, like me.
I do not, so I cannot confirm nor deny that.
That's okay. But, I mean, I feel like we keep seeing a lot of poking coming down from this bot lane, and I think we might have a major engagement coming out relatively soon. I mean, yes, we got some poke up here towards this top lane, but, I mean, we got, I think, a decent fight coming out, maybe.
Looks like Azir and Kaki maybe going in for a skirmish in the mid lane while their Lilia invades our topside jungle.
A little bit of damage being
There's been a
traded back.
lot of jungle invades this game.
Yeah. I mean, if you can steal that credit where it's due, I mean, you may as well, right? If you can, steal some gold like we kind of saw before.
Like Lilia has ulted on Kakid, and Talon comes in and gets the kill on Kakid. Nujabes comes down, try and help out, maybe get a kill. No, I think that's a good choice on Point Park's behalf. Trying to fight that and losing more people isn't exactly worth it. It looks like their bot lane is pushed up on our bot lane, same as their top tower.
Yeah,
which can equally be good and bad for us.
I've kind of struggling here to fight this 2v1. I mean 2v2 highway is there,
ult
but
comes out once again. The Senna ult goes through. Ooh, another kill goes to Swain, but Nocturne comes in with his ult, taking down the Swain. However, Senna does get another kill on under her. No, Senna's first kill. Oh, that's my bad. I keep getting confused. Who's the ADC and who's the support?
Big. Just get that one in.
Ribeiro gets the kill on Senna. However, now he just has to fight against Talon and the flash over the Dragon Wall to escape with his life. As the enemy team gets the second set of Void Grubs.
Yeah, it looks like University of Ottawa's kind of focus is for those Void Grubs, and Point Park. I mean, I believe we saw a 3-1 towards the beginning, and 6-3 is technically a little bit better than that, but this goal deficit still kind of at the same as it was before, around 4K. So this as the game continues, it's going to be very, very important to kind of decrease that deficit, and it might be right here as Nujabi's looking for key, but decides not to go in all the way.
Looks like bot lane's kind of playing it a little bit safe right now, just trying to get some poke out, just trying to make sure that they don't let Ottawa get the engage that they desperately want to get with these two.
Some good damage.
Senna hits a stun, but doesn't look like Swain or Senna can do anything about that.
And I mean...
Clearing wards.
Clearing wards. Hey, it might be tedious, but it's important.
It's very important. The less the enemy can see, the better it is for that team.
It's like hide and seek, but like one person's cheating with like spy camera.
Exactly. It looks like there's both a fight going on in the bot lane and in the bot side jungle. Swain ults. Yahybe gets a kill on highway, and Swain might... Nope. Swain does get the kill on Ive, unfortunately.
I mean...
Lilia rotated down just in time to aid and apply that pressure that was much needed to get that kill.
I feel like we keep seeing that ultimate come out a lot. Like,
it has a very low cooldown.
Yeah, it seems to be very, very powerful, and the University of Ottawa seems to be utilizing it correctly, I would say, and it looks like they're going to be able to get that kind of dragon, I would say, in jungle, and that's going to be big, as that's going to take away from Point Park's plan.
And it looks like the Dragon Soul this game is going to be Mountain Soul, which is really good for both teams to try and get because it applies more armor, and I'm pretty sure it helps with shields, if I remember correctly. I know it has to do with armor, though, which is good. We like armor.
I know it's a dragon, and you want the dragons.
And it looks like Ottawa is setting up for a gank down in the bot lane. Karma here clearing out 2 control wards in Ottawa's bot side jungle, but Swain comes down to be like, hey, those are my wards. You can't have those.
Too bad. I'm taking them down anyway.
Karma and Ash going in for the engage on Swain, getting him very low health, but he does pop his ult, causing them to have to back up and get out of that fight, which leaves him without an ult for a small period of time.
I feel like
However, he did escape with his life, so maybe it was not used in vain.
I mean, yeah, staying alive obviously very, very important, but I think for Point Park, they've been struggling with taking care of that ult, so staying alive with one of those ults coming down is going to survive them another engagement, and what we see is probably another 5 minutes where those players don't have to worry about that.
If you look right in the corner on their names, we can see that his ultimate is already halfway back up.
Yeah, I'm just going off of, you know, the amount of engagements they've kind of gone for.
Senna did do a lot of damage to Ive, which is going to either cause him to stay and play extra safe, or have him risk recalling and losing out on that XP. Either way, Ive is mostly out of the fight for now. Looks like Ashe ult on the Senna, gets stunned. Kakid comes in with the Nocturne ult, going in and getting the kill
Ive goes
on Swain. They also get the kill on the Senna, however, right before they killed Senna, it looks like she got the kill on our Karma. And Nujabi's and MXT fighting for the Rift Herald right now in the top river as Lilia escapes with just a quarter for health bar left.
I thought you said the Rift Herald didn't exist anymore.
No, it does. It's just not yet.
Oh, okay.
It comes later in the game than it usually does.
Ah, see.
That's what I meant. Ribeiro ulting Talon away just as he ults to save his life. Nocturne comes in, tries to get the kill. Ribeiro does die in the process. However, Ashe gets the shutdown on the Lilia. And let's see here. And a double kill, taking out that Talon. Just right before Senna got there to try and aid in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that went really, really well for Point Park. Yes, you lose the one at the start, but you get 2 out of it. I mean, I think that's a really, really big.
100%. Our Ashe is now 3-3. 3 kills is way better than no kills. And that's... Point Park is really catching up now. However, Garen with the Beyblade of Doom coming in on Cassante. Cassante pushes him towards their tower.
Ooh.
However, first turret goes to Ottawa in the bot lane.
And I'm going down as well.
I think that was an Ashe ult right on the Swain. It goes in. Azir is there to help out, maybe push them away just so they don't get a second kill. And Kakid coming into the top lane for a gank to try and get a kill on that Garen. That was a Garen ult right there on Cassante. And let's see here.
Ooh, but here comes the help. This could spell disaster, but it's going to be for at least University of Ottawa, I believe, was we have a shutdown.
And that's a good use of the Nocturne ult to try and escape from that Lilia. However, Lilia does put Cassante to sleep and gets that kill. And gets a double kill on the Nocturne. She's just too fast and too quick.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing these ults. I feel like they're really, really being utilized by University of Ottawa really, really well. And they're able to get these kind of engagements that they want to get, and it's working out in their favor.
And it looks like second turret is going to go to University of Ottawa again with the top tower. Those Void Grubs coming in really, really handy to take those tower platings down.
Yeah, I mean, you said Void Grub's a new addition to League of Legends, and seems like University of Ottawa knows what they want to do with them and are trying to utilize that to take down those turrets and get that advantage there, because, you know, at the end of the day, yes, taking down the turrets is tedious, but that's what you got to do if you want to win, and that's what's gonna happen.
Yep. Looks like they might get mid tower too, given the fact that they have all 6 of the grubs. The grubs are spawning more grubs to try and take down those turrets. We got a Azir ult on the Senna.
Ooh.
Senna Highway takes down that Senna. Aw takes down Ive, but Ive trades and takes down Aw as well. Really poetic when 2 champions kill each other at the exact same time.
Yeah, and then you just have the top lane, or at least they previously were, and now it's, I think, the bot lane, but just these players have been just battling each other for the whole game. No one's killed each other. They're playing their games, and they're playing their roles.
That's how you play top lane. A lot of times they say top lane's an island. You kind of just leave them to their own business. And it's just usually 2 huge dudes duking it out. Just hitting each other, not really killing each other. Sometimes they kill each other. But it looks like University of Ottawa is trying to take that Mountain Drake. They really want that extra armor, and they do get their second drag. They're 2 points away from Soul, but Point Park still has an opportunity to catch up here if they can get the next drag that comes up.
Yeah, I mean, kills, you know, again, yes, they're in favor of University of Ottawa. Point Park, though, not too far behind. This gold lead just about 5K, maybe 6K, depending. But, I mean, it still seems like, although uOttawa has the lead, I feel like Point Park's very much still in this game.
They absolutely are. If Point Park can start taking some of the towers away from University of Ottawa and keeping some of theirs alive, it looks like a Lilia ult right there on the Karma. Senna comes in with her extended auto attack range and does a bunch of damage to Karma. Swain drags her out from under the tower just so they can get a little bit closer without taking turret aggro.
And I've going down there, not exactly favorable, of course, and this turret most likely going to go down as well. Yep, there it is. And now these players, I think they want to chase after, but no, they're going to decide to disengage. They got what they came for, and that was the turret. And now Point Park has to make that up somehow as well.
For a little, and then we saw the Azir passive go up with the second turret. Well, not the second, the Azir turret, which does cause University of Ottawa to have to stop chasing because now that turret aggro is going to be on them. And the Baron is spawning, which changes all of the jungle monsters into void-infected jungle monsters. Now, if you take a buff, it goes to your entire team. And with that, Baron Nashor has spawned. Are any of the teams going to go for it? Probably not yet. It is better to wait, see how many people you can kill, and then if you can pick off your most dangerous targets, which right now it's going to be Lilia, Talon, and Swain, in terms of what Point Park needs, and to get Baron for Ottawa, they would need to get rid of Point Park's Nocturne and Ashe.
And it said there that blue turret self-destructed. You want to explain that a little more?
That was the Azir passive turret. It only lasts for a small amount of time. What Azir does is he places it on where a turret has fallen. It's now a new turret, which aggroes for a bit, but it does not last for the entire game. And so it will just self-destruct, if not destroy before the time runs out. And it looks like Talon gets the jump on Azir, jumps over the Azir wall. I didn't know that was possible.
And Ribeiro getting caught out there, I would say. Maybe a bit off too much than he could chew, and that's what's going to happen is you're looking for a little too
Nocturne
much.
ult comes in on the Lilia, however, Swain ult is right there, and everybody is standing in it. There is no escape for Point Park University as Swain and Senna run them down.
And that's the beauty of the short cooldown ultimate.
Yep.
You can have it at like literally every single engagement, and it just seems like Point Park is starting to fall behind, maybe a little bit farther back than they wanted, and now it's looking a little desperate for them, I'd say.
Yeah, both bot lane and mid lane are pushed in very, very far, and Point Park has yet to even take down one of University of Ottawa's towers.
And another one going down as well, so that blue turret being destroyed. I mean, this lead seems quite big. I mean, you can see in terms of kills, you can see in terms of gold, and this kind of tower, I mean, it might even go down to minions. Now, just barely not, but I mean, imagine a world where that tower goes down to minions, and that is a very, very big point.
They do call them winions for a reason.
Oh, do they? Is that
Sometimes. If like a minion takes a tower, it's like, winions, let's go.
Okay. Okay.
It gets really, really upsetting when the winions take your nexus.
Ooh. Yeah, that sounds.
It's
not
upsetting.
fun.
I've been there. Oh, and it looks like we're having a slight issue. Somebody didn't stay in the lobby, which means
The game is probably over.
yep, it looks like for the first round goes to University of Ottawa.
Yeah, I think that.
Oh, we have the last few seconds of the game. University of Ottawa using the Rift Herald to charge right into that tower. Senna getting the kill on our Ashe, and Talon just running Kakid down. They take down the Rift Herald before he can take the inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, looks like they're not going to be stopped though right away, as there is a little bit of resistance. But here comes all 5 players. They're all grouped up. They're just waiting, probably for cooldowns. Would be my guess.
I think they're going for Baron.
Ah.
They've taken down Ashe. Nocturne is without his ult for a bit longer. They're definitely going for that Baron. Clearing out vision. And if you haven't played League since the season has started, and you have played before, you will notice that Baron Nashor has had a visual update. And I think that the new Baron Nashor looks great. That's just my opinion on it.
It looks pretty good to me. I don't know what it looked like before, but looks like a silly, goofy little guy.
Yeah, they gave him more arms.
Hey,
And Baron Nashor does go to University of Ottawa. Point Park desperately trying to get the next Mountain Drake before Ottawa can come down, but it looks like they know, and they're on their way. Nocturne ult goes out, trying to stop them from being able to see. Nocturne rushes in on the Senna, trying to take down the squishies. However, Swain has sent his ult out, and nobody can do anything about it.
I mean, these picks are just all going in favor of University of Ottawa. They are just picking that up, and the ace comes out. And that's disaster for Point Park, I think. I think that might be
where the game went down.
the nail in the coffin.
Now, with Baron, as well as the Void Grub buff, the University of Ottawa can just push in those towers, take that Nexus, and nobody on Point Park's team is alive to be able to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, you got these players coming in 2 seconds, and there's only so much one player can do against 5, and that is going to be GG on the first map. Point Park falls. University of Ottawa Grey takes that first game, and they put themselves up a 1-0.
Point Park still has a chance to pick it up in this next round, so we just have to see what might happen. Maybe ban out a couple of people we had a really hard time with, like Swain.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like that. I'm assuming that's the character with the repetitive ultimate. Yep. See, aha! I knew it.
You're learning.
Yes. Yeah, Swain could not be slain, and therefore was a pain. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a league caster now. That's the requirements, right? You just gotta be poet for league.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your poetry?
I do freeform.
Freeform. Ah.
Yeah.
Would...
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah. Go for it.
I cannot stand when I see a Garen in a lane. He just kind of spins in a circle, and then I am slain.
Go.
I'm not good at this.
That's okay. That's why we're up here and not stand-up comedians. We may be standing, we may be funny, but we are funny for the wrong reasons, and that is because we're dumb. But we're gonna be hopping into the next map very shortly, and that draft phase, I believe,
should be coming up again. We're gonna see who gets picked, who gets banned, who we'd have to, because we also have to decide who we're actually gonna keep from our original bans compared to what we know that they did really well with this time. Right. A lot of our original bans, like the Yone ban, and I think we had an Ornn ban. I already forgot who we banned. And they banned
some characters.
They did ban. Both teams banned some characters.
Yep.
So both teams really have to decide, okay, do we stick with our original bans, or do we ban something that we know they did really well on and risk them getting these other guys that we didn't want to see in the game?
Right. If Point Park can think that, as much as we got trouble with maybe one or something of these characters, if it's just based off of a decision or something that we can harness against to play them, and we can just outplay them in some way, shape, or form, then yeah, I think Point Park has that opportunity. They want to counter strat. I think, they have that ability.
Mm-hmm. I think both teams might change up their bans a little bit. I don't think we're going to be seeing a Swain in the next game. At least I would like to not see a Swain in the next game. I feel like that Swain-Senna combo really gave Point Park's bot lane a bigger issue than I think their Ashe Karma really wanted to give. Because Ashe Karma has the potential to be very dominant in that lane, but unfortunately not as dominant as that double stun bot lane.
I mean, I think I wouldn't be surprised as well if we see, a ban from uOttawa maybe on a Nocturne.
Oh, 100%. Kakid on the Nocturne gave Ottawa a big issue.
Yeah, I mean, talk about just showing up and absolutely swaying the kind of turn of a fight and really just bringing it in a way just because you have your little ultimate, which, is not so little because it is typically the thing that you're going to use to win those engagements. So those are really, really big things to kind of see. And yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised to see that Nocturne ban as well as the Swain ban.
Yeah, I also think if they're going to ban anybody else for Point Park, I think it might be likely that Point Park might not be seeing an Azir. Because Azir, while not really having that big of a presence in the late game, was doing a lot of damage more towards the middle of the game.
Which one was that one again?
The one in the mid lane.
Ah,
They
yes.
had a big wall that kept pushing people
Oh,
away.
yeah, the wall
And the little
one.
like guys that would like occasionally like stab people with their spears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flaming ninja stars of death. In the circle.
That was Talon.
Oh, that was the other team.
That was, yeah. Also, I don't think we're going to be seeing Talon again. I would like to hope. It does look like Talon is still a very difficult mid laner to play against with all of his escapes and everything. And I think my prediction of Ottawa being able to escape everything with their lives was kind of on point.
Yeah.
Because of how much mobility they had.
Yeah, and something that maybe I don't necessarily know as somebody that doesn't play League of Legends a whole lot, but I think in a lot of games, just mobility and crowd control is very, very important, because if you can funnel the teams where you want them to go, they're going to have to run into you. That's where you can have your one brawler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like typically you got one person that's going to do which is most likely the ADC or something like that.
The Garen.
Yep, just go in there and take everybody down. Or, you play this poke game and you're going to win the poke game because you have that mobility, because you don't need to necessarily waste that health to kind of get out, and you're able to live with your life and convert, maybe not even a kill, but you keep getting gold.
Honestly, I think a good thing that we can see from Point Park that might try and combat the amount of poke that University of Ottawa came to the table with would be a champion that has a lot more of an attack range, like Caitlyn, or at least Aphelios in the early game has that extra attack range that they could use to like avoid the poke but still be able to get the CS and the minions and maybe even poke the enemy champion if they get a little bit too close. Because Caitlyn has if I remember correctly, Caitlyn has the longest attack range of any like base ADC, and Aphelios has a pretty long attack range with his first weapon that he pulls up. Because Aphelios rotates weapons.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Ive was on the support there that game?
Yes.
Okay, so I think this game is going to come down a little bit to, I think, the production of Ive. I think Ive got caught out maybe a few times more than they wanted to, but at the same time, as you roll as support, you're not going to be necessarily getting those high numbers of kills, but maybe staying alive a little bit more for your team, producing that health and that whatever else you could use in that fight, really important. And if you can have, numbers advantage, it's really that simple. If you can have more players on your side when you're taking a fight, chances are you're going to come out on top, statistically.
Yeah. Honestly, I think there's a couple directions that they can take with a different support. That wouldn't so much be Karma. They can have something that's more heal focused, or they can have something more tank focused, which I think would work in their favor against a heavy poke lane. I feel like Engage is definitely probably not the go-to unless we have a very like aggressive ADC to go with it. And Ashe is not really one aggressive ADC early game. But if we had someone like, let's say we still kept the Ashe and we put in like a Seraphine or Emilio or a Soraka, and then healed up that Ashe. And the Seraphine Ashe combo is just really funny because Seraphine's E works. It stuns people when they're slowed, and with Ashe's auto attack slowing.
Is Seraphine the one with like the magic like darts that it like goes really, really long?
No.
No.
Seraphine has pink hair. And she flies around on a stage and like she dances.
Who's the one that has like those arrows and like shoots the bow and it like goes really, really far? I think it's like the arrow is like white or something.
White arrows go far.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of, because the goes far thing kind of reminds me of Kaisa W.
Maybe.
But the fact that it's a bow makes me,
It might not be a bow. I don't know.
the bow makes me think of either Ashe and Kindred if it's like a more female presenting.
I think it was
champion.
more female presenting.
All right.
Maybe.
Were there like
could be-
things flying like right here?
Couldn't tell you. Could not tell
Got
you.
it.
I don't know if it's a bow. All I know is I saw some flying projectiles go cross map, and they were good for, I think, at least tagging some players up, and maybe that's what Point Park needs. Again, I don't know much about League. I don't know how strong that is. What if that's meta right now? But trying to if we saw something that is a little bit higher mobility on the side of uOttawa, maybe Point Park goes for that range thing to kind of counteract the fact that they are
Or something
escaping.
that would be able to kind of catch them out. Maybe that's where an engage would help because you can kind of engage on them before they can even run. Like if you're the one engaging instead of the enemy team, then you can try and kill them before they can run away because you're getting like the jump on them.
Right. I mean, taking these fights when you want to, as opposed to when your opponent
Forced
wants
to.
to. Right. I mean, if you want kind of to take that fight, you can choose to do so. You're going to catch them off guard, even if they're expecting it. They still don't know where you're coming from. They're probably going to get the first hit on them. So, you can enter in with that health advantage, and that will hopefully help you convert that team fight.
Though, however, sometimes it is a strategy to let the team come to you first, and you're playing safe. You're kind of getting everything like caught up. Like let's say I'm going to use bot lane as an example again because that's the lane that I'm most used to. Like you're playing under your tower, you're waiting for them to make a move, kind of slip up a little bit, get caught out, and then that's when you go in and take that kill. And it's on their terms of when the fight starts. But you sat calm, you were patient, you prepared, and you kind of went in with that kind of like calmed down state of mind instead of going full aggression, because sometimes that helps you out also.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole combination of factors that is going to end up kind of determining the outcome of this second game that is coming up shortly. Now, in terms of Point Park, they got to find the answer. I know we keep talking about different aspects, what could happen, whether compositions, play style. I mean, does it focus on maybe, what are they called? The grubs?
Grubs.
Yep. So, I mean, maybe it's on that. Maybe you have to contest the grubs a little bit.
I've noticed that with a lot of games this season is that a lot of people want to focus on the grubs very early because of the tower push potential it has. Because sometimes it's not so much about how many kills you have. It's more about how fast can I push these towers and make it into their base. And that's why a lot of people really, really, really want to go for the grubs. I've seen a lot of games where you can like not touch the grubs at all until Rift Herald spawns. However, it is very beneficial to at least get one of the 6 grubs. Because the grubs spawn 2 times, and there's 3 grubs in each. If you can at least get 1 grub, it gives your team a little bit more push potential. However, University of Ottawa in that last game got all 6 of them, and so they had the most push potential you could have pretty much via grubs.
Because, again, remember, even if it's 6-0 versus 5-1, it's actually kind of a 2 deficit, because not only do you not have one, but now they have one more. So if you can just get one more out, that's one less that they will have in terms of grubs. And so, that's a very, very big advantage when talking 6 versus, 4.
Yeah, and it's really good to, like I said when we first started the stream, it's like this season is all about trying to go for the objectives a lot. You really, especially the Void objectives, you really want the grubs, you really want the Herald, you really want the Baron. And the dragons are just nice to have because it buffs up your team and everything. And it's nice not to let the enemy take them. And we are in the pick and the ban phase now.
Yeah, I mean, you got some characters that you kind of saw, I believe, a little bit beforehand. And for all of you guys wondering, yes, the graphics are correct this time. Point Park is aligned with Point Park, and uOttawa is aligned with uOttawa.
And it looks like Point Park is going to be sticking with the bans on Viego and Yone. They really don't want to see either of those 2 in the game, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, if I was them and I said, these are the characters that we know these guys play, probably better than the ones that we just saw them play, let's make sure that we don't have them in our game.
And it looks like University of Ottawa is sticking with the Jax, Brand, and Ornn bans. Oh, I think Point Park banned Ornn last time. Looks like they're taking out Ornn as well.
Yeah, I guess neither team wants to see that character, and I mean, if it's going to cause problems, so be it. But maybe that's also, a sign of what kind of composition that uOttawa wants to go for. As much as Point Park necessarily banned it versus uOttawa, I mean, were either of these teams planning to play this character, or, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, and it looks like the final ban for Point Park is going to be going to Lilia, which I did assume because Lilia gave them a big problem. However, University of Ottawa does get that Aatrox pick in, which is something that Point Park was worried about because MXT is a very good Aatrox player. However, first picking top lane does give you the opportunity to counterpick that Aatrox. And top lane is very susceptible, is that the word? Susceptible to counterpicks. However, it looks like Nujabes is going to go for the Set, who is very silly. I hate playing against Set.
So I feel like, if I remember correctly, which I probably don't, Set is the one with, some sort of like trap-esque, magic-esque things? No? Okay,
Nope.
I'm just making
The
stuff
way
up.
Set works is the more damage he takes, the more damage he can output.
That's what it is.
And it looks like there is the Caitlyn that I was talking about. I predicted this.
Look at you.
I'm so smart and intelligent.
And now what's gonna happen?
Let's see.
Swain. That's my guess.
I sure hope not. I would not be surprised if I saw Swain in that pick right there. I would really hope not. Ivern. Are they picking Ivern?
You seem surprised.
Well, I don't really see Ivern often.
Oh.
No, it is going to be the Lee Sin pick.
That
Lee Sin is good.
okay. Lee Sin is good. They look good. I don't know what that is.
He's blind. That's why his name is Lee Sin.
So Daredevil.
Because he listens.
Ah, I see.
We love creative League of Legends names.
It's like Daredevil. Daredevil is also blind and red and muscular and doesn't have a ponytail though.
Nope. And Karthus. And it looks like we're going to get a Karthus pick as well. It looks like there might be a Karthus in the mid lane. Karthus is not fun to play against. Especially with the new League of Legends update with all of the new items, and especially Malignance, which gives you more damage with your ultimate. And Karthus' main form of damage came from his ultimate, which is basically a big beam that kind of comes down on everybody on the map and kind of hits them. And it looks like we're getting a Lux pick. Is that going to be Lux mid or Lux support? Who knows? However, as a Lux player, Lux is fun. Lux is really fun. I know a lot of people hate her, but I have a lot of fun playing Lux.
I mean, the good thing about Lux is that kind of diversity, that dual kind of possibilities that you have is going to be some question marks on the side of uOttawa, which is something that Point Park can really use right now, especially as, they did fall short this first map. So, I mean, any advantage you could take, whether it's just a question mark for the comp, is something that, they'll take.
Yeah, I feel like I might be assuming that Lux is going to go support, which I am also assuming. However, it could be Lux mid. I don't know, but I feel like it is safe to assume that Lux is going to be in the support, as they have banned Azir. And Point Park is going to be putting out that Akali ban, which is pretty good. Nobody wants to see an Akali in their games. Playing against Akali is not fun.
Okay.
Playing Akali is fun though.
I will take your word for it, and something that I'm still worried about is this Swain.
Yeah, there is not a ban on the Swain. They have put a ban out for Echo though.
Interesting.
Maybe they have a good. And there's the Nocturne ban you were talking about.
Yeah, I called it. Woo! I know something.
You're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate.
I'm sorry, that caught me off guard. I was not expecting to see that man right there. I've known Highway for a while now.
Yeah.
And there was a phase where Highway would only play Twisted Fate. Oh, there's Mordekaiser, the guy that sent the people to Brazil.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be more jungle? Well, now I'm confused because what if that's like Set support and Mordekaiser top, but it could also be Mordekaiser jungle. And it does look like they're gonna be picking Blitzcrank.
Interesting. I mean, so once again, if you kind of have one player on the enemy team, I believe you can still pick that character for your own team. Is right?
Nope.
No, I'm liar. That's what I meant. I meant it the other way.
University of Ottawa has went with Blitzcrank, which is really bad if that's Lux Caitlyn bot lane, because neither of them have the ability to escape if he hooks them in. Because what Blitzcrank does is he pulls you
that
in.
one. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's not fun. I actually used to permaban him, and I don't like Corky.
Is that the guy in like the flying thing?
They don't have an ADC. Who is their bot lane?
GG. No.
Is that Corky bot lane? Corky Blitzcrank? What am I looking at?
You're looking at a composition for League of Legends. The map.
And it looks like our mid laner is going to be going Fizz.
Fizz.
Fizz. I don't like Fizz. I hate playing against Fizz because he has an escape. He does tons of damage and has an escape, especially with the new Storm Surge item, which is magical execute.
Which is good. Oh.
So this might be good. And it looks like I was right with the Lux Caitlyn in the bot lane. And it's Karthus Blitzcrank?
Interesting.
I'm not gonna judge it because I know we've seen some very interesting comps that ended up working out really well for Point Park. I remember The first semester I was casting, we had the Vi Tristana, and I was very surprised about Vi support, and it worked out. So maybe this will work out for Ottawa. I mean, ideally it wouldn't, because, well, Point Park is who we really want to win. But you never know.
True. I mean, as we kind of get underway towards this game and into the delay period, I mean, we have two compositions that, at least from Gail's point of view, aren't really expected. And Ottawa, as much as they did take this first map, I mean, it looks like we've got ourselves a decent matchup. I think just judging by even the pictures of University of Ottawa, you can kind of see they're kind of going for that more brawl style, I would assume.
I would agree with, to an extent, I would agree. Corky has a bit more poke than anybody else. He kind of just stands back and shoots you from his helicopter. It has a name, but I forgot. Oh, Rafflecopter.
I was right. So it was the one with the helicopter.
And Karthus does have a bit more poke. Doesn't have as much range as let's say like Caitlyn or Lux, but he has like enough range where he is just going to like spawn like these little circles on the ground sort of, and it can like do damage. I don't really know how to describe it, but his Q is interesting, and he has like a wall and a circle around
walls.
him.
Walls are very nice. They keep us warm and protected from the elements. And hopefully for Point Park, that's exactly what that wall is going to do, protect them from the elements that is University of Ottawa.
However, none of our champions have walls. Caitlyn has a trap, though.
True.
A Yordle trap. And that's what it's called. It's called Yordle Snap Trap. And their mid laner is a Yordle.
Like Yordle-Who?
Yeah. Nah, Yordle isn't like little people. They're like these little magical creatures who like live in Bandle City, which is like a magical...
So like a Whoville equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like imagine like Whoville, but more magic.
Okay. More magic. That's
more magic.
Already a lot of magic, so more magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to like travel through portals to even get there.
And that's for which character as well, you said?
Corky is a Yordle and Fizz is a Yordle. Fizz is like an ancient Yordle.
Ah, yes, Fizz, the Stitch of League of Legends.
Yeah, but nobody loves him like people love Stitch.
Well, yeah, but blue and small.
Yeah.
And has ears that are floppy.
Yeah.
That's about as much as I know as both that character Fizz and Stitch.
What Fizz does, he is a mage that he has like a trident.
Tridents are cool.
He is a melee champion, which is going to be a bit difficult into Corky, who is a ranged champion. However, he does do a lot of damage, and he has an ability that leaves him invulnerable and allows him to escape by jumping up on top of his trident and dodging abilities and jumping away. And his ultimate ability, he basically like puts bait on you, and a big shark comes out of the ground to eat you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get eaten by a shark. I don't know about you. Yeah, okay.
I'm not a big fan of getting eaten by sharks.
Yeah, so I was at the ocean once.
Yeah?
Enough said.
I was also at the ocean once.
Never again.
Never again. I don't like swimming in the ocean. I don't like swimming in open water.
Outside? What's that?
Yeah, I sit inside and I play. I'm a League of Legends player, guys. I am like the worst kind of person. I play League of Legends.
Don't say that, Gail. It's okay. It's okay. We'll live. I mean, people are hopefully entertained by us.
I mean, it's not as bad as when I used to be a Yuumi player. Yuumi is a parasite who just sits on top of other champions and can't be targeted. Yuumi used to be a lot worse. Yuumi used to have an ability where she would just heal. So you would just have this little parasite that sits on you and permanently heals you.
That's
fun to play.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't love to play a character that's broken and busted?
And you don't even have to do anything. Like it can be like, crap, I gotta go let my dog out.
It's okay. I'll be attached.
Yeah. Like you just leave to go let your dog out. You can play a whole round of Fortnite.
Speaking of which, Fortnite team coming soon. Just kidding. That's a joke. Maybe. Probably.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin is not entering the office. It's apparently Nate says he's declined the offer to dress up as Peter Griffin. However, we will find a Garfield coming in soon. Don't ask me why. There just happened to be a Cab special event about Garfield.
I love Garfield. I was so sad. I did not know that that was happening.
I was hosting
had our. You hosted it? Oh, I wish I would have known.
Yeah.
I was so sad. I was like already home and everything. And I was seeing pictures of Garfield and I was like,
Yeah.
Garfield.
If I had to go in the suit, they would have made me go in the suit. So I would have just been walking around in a giant inflatable Garfield suit.
Garfield. I love Garfield. I think my favorite part about Garfield is like he kind of just shows up places. Like
So Nocturne.
Garfield is his Nocturne. We need a Garfield skin for Nocturne. No, it's
You
like
heard it here, Riot.
you won't think about Garfield for like a while, and suddenly you'll see something about Garfield, and suddenly everything you see is Garfield.
So Nocturne.
Yeah. I once copied a League of Legends meme with Nocturne. There was a meme with Blitzcrank where it was Yumi and Caitlyn, and Yumi was like, "I love my ADC." Word time, and it's like Caitlyn and getting Blitzcrank hook. It's like, "Where is my ADC?" I did that, but with Nocturne ult. Instead of the hook, it was just like a completely black panel that just said darkness on it, and I was like, "Where is my ADC?
Please help me.
Where is my ADC?"
I need help, please. And for Point Park, they definitely need help to convert this one as we get underway into game number 2. And you know what? Hopefully for Point Park is the second map of 3.
And it looks like the entirety of Point Park is starting down bot lane, while the entirety of University of Ottawa is starting in the top lane. Is there going to be a double invade? Probably, given that Ottawa has invaded Point Park's topside jungle. Nope, just looks like they're invading topside jungle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe we're just warding? What is happening?
The channel? I'm confused.
I'm also very confused, and it looks like Point Park is going to go up. Maybe they're going to catch out that Blitzcrank. Mordekaiser gets the hook on him. Fizz jumps in, jumps out. Durag is a little bit too close, but it looks like they're going to get the kill on them. But no! First blood goes to Set! However, they do get the kill on Kakid. Set flashes to escape, but that's an ignite down on Blitzcrank. I think it's a pretty even trade. Both teams got a kill out of it. There's some summoner spells down. Point Park did get the gold lead in that, given that Point Park's bot lane is there in the bot lane taking minions, while Ottawa's bot lane was in the top lane. Blitzcrank misses the hook on the Lux. Lux hits a double stun, goes in. Caitlyn goes in with a hit on the ability, takes Blitzcrank down, gets him very low, leaves him pretty much out of the fight for now, unless he tries to go in and get a hook. However, Highway is really in. Gets a kill on the Blitzcrank, and Highway gets a kill on. That's pretty good for Point Park right now. Najabi is really low in the top lane now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, any kill lead that Point Park has gotten is better than the one that they've had, which is not a kill lead. So the fact that they have one now, very, very good for them, and they're going to start to take this lead and hopefully build it up if you are rooting for them.
And let's see here. Looks like their jungler tried to go down and stop bot lane from pushing anymore. Right now, there is a huge CS lead in the bot lane. However, mid lane has a bigger CS lead. Aatrox going in on the Set, and unfortunately, Set was not able to output that damage back in the Aatrox, and Aatrox gets the kill.
I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you maybe overstep your welcome and you are gonna go down. And yes, we have another fight coming out towards this bot lane, but it doesn't seem like anybody's in immediate danger, I would say.
Same thing with mid lane. It looks like everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. It does look like Corki is in control of that wave, not letting Fizz get anywhere near them. However, Caitlyn's range is outstanding and is just poking that Blitzcrank from afar with her sniper rifle.
Yeah, I feel like if I had to play anyone, I'd pick somebody with long range, just because why get close to somebody when you could shoot them from afar?
Exactly.
And that's what you do in a lot of other games, Overwatch, Valorant, you name it, Fortnite.
It looks like Blitzcrank does get the hook on Lux. Lux is able to flash out, and Blitzcrank gets stuck in a Yordle snap trap. Lux gets another stun onto Karthus. Lux is really low, and Kakid comes in,
all goes down,
killing the Karthus. However, Karthus's passive is up. Will Point Park be able to escape it? Yes. And a double kill for Kakid on Mordekaiser.
Ooh, and Nujabi's looking for maybe another kill to go along with it, but no, just looks like top lane things.
Yep, just outputting tons of damage. Not really, but I mean, Set has the ability to output tons of damage. If I explained how Set works, right? Like
Yes,
he pushes out. There's a little white bar under his health bar, and you'll see that fills up. Whenever that little bar is filled up all the way, he does a lot of damage. But it does not look like he'll be able to do anything about it, as Lee Sin has come up for the gank, and MXT gets another kill on Nujabes.
Right, I guess the duality of that character is, yes, the more damage you take, the more you output, but that's also that more damage that you take, and
yeah,
and that will mean that you have less health, and that will mean you will die faster.
Which is really, really unfortunate. However, Kakid and Ive coming out of the river to gank down in the bot lane, as well as Ribeiro on Fizz. Looks like they're gonna get another kill on Aw. Just gotta stay away from his path so he can't hit you with anything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I believe Mordecai, if I'm not mistaken, has been doing a lot of work on the side of Point Park.
Fizz goes in to try and scare Corki away from the wave, but Corki is just shooting him down.
Run, Forest, run! But instead of Forest, it's Fizz.
And Point Park is going to try and take on the first dragon. However, Ottawa has used this as an opportunity to get the first set of Void Grubs. Njabi's going in on the Aatrox, trying to deal as much damage as he can, but Aatrox is just walking around like he doesn't care.
But there's the dragon for the side of Point Park. That's pretty big.
That is pretty big. Giving Point Park a slight armor buff.
Which, hey, like you said before, we like armor.
We
Armor's
like
good.
armor.
If I would like to have more health and armor, that would be great. If only, real life could do that, but like without physical armor, where
That
it's
would
bulky.
be awesome. I wish I could have armor without being bulky. I would not be able to wear armor. I think I would like fall over if somebody tried to put me in armor.
Imagine you like trip and fall and you skin your knee, and then it just immediately is like, nope, you got armor, you're good.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would love snowboarding with that because I fall a lot when I snowboard and I get my knees busted up and it hurts really bad.
Welcome to the life of a snowboarder.
Yeah.
From a skier.
Oh, Fizz ult goes out on the Blitzcrank. Lux getting the stun off on him, and Ribeiro gets the kill on Eastern Heart.
Point Park looks really, really strong right now, but Nujabi looking maybe a little bit of struggles up there, but able to get out just, I'd say barely, but just poking once again.
Aatrox is going in. That's Aatrox ult out. Nujabi's gets caught out under his tower, aims, I think that sets W the wrong way, and is not able to stop Aatrox from his absolute domination of the top lane. However, in the bot lane, Karthus and Blitzcrank can't do much against this Lux-Caitlyn combo.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the top lane going in favor of uOttawa, but everything else just seems to be going the way of Point Park.
Oh, that was almost an ult on Lee Sin, but it looks like he escaped. Or is Lee Sin in the ult?
Oh boy.
I can't tell. And Fizz coming around the corner to get that kill on Lee Sin.
She'll be coming around the mountain. Quite literally. That was a mountain. I believe.
That was a mountain, yeah.
So
The score is now 4-8, and Point Park has a 1K gold lead. I mean, that's a 10K? No, 1K.
1K. And a dragon, though. Dragon versus 3 scrubs, right? Or
Grubs, yeah.
Scrubs. Not scrubs. Scrubs are the things you wear when you are a doctor.
A scrub is a guy who thinks he's fly, and... I don't know.
This is what League of Legends does to a person. You can see.
You haven't had fun playing League of Legends if you haven't...
Not had fun playing League of Legends.
I was gonna say Sing No Scrubs by TLC, but that works too.
And once again, you got that top lane fight just going out as
The
normal.
Fizz ultimate goes out on Corki as Fizz tries to do a bunch of damage to him. However, he's just pulling out a machine gun from his attack helicopter.
And I feel like here, if your job is forever, I feel like you just want to, as much as doing damage is important, preserve your life and try and get leveled up as much as you can. It's going to be really, really big, and it's really important, I would say, too, just to get those abilities stronger. And Kakid now trying to get a little bit
Lee Sin out. However, Lee Sin places a ward over the wall and dashes to it to save himself from the Iron Revenant.
Mobility. That's important.
That is important. It looks like Ottawa is going to try and catch Mordekaiser out, but he's just strutting along, not letting them hit him. But Blitzcrank does hit the hook on Kakid. Is it enough to do anything? Not sure. It looks like our bot lane is rotating up. Karthus gets the shutdown on Mordekaiser.
And looks like
MXT is on a rampage. He is 4-0 compared to Nujabes, who is 1-4.
Yeah, I mean, that does seem to be the point where Point Park is struggling the most, and now that, you know, that lead that was kind of in mid and in bot lane is now diminishing as well. So everything kind of starting to turn the way of uOttawa. Of course, kills still in the favor of Point Park, but that gold lead now gone.
If Caitlyn can get even a little bit close enough to try and hit that Blitzcrank with any of her abilities. Oh, IVE gets the kill.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah.
A kill's a kill. No matter how much you use for it. I mean,
it looks like Point Park is going to try and go for the Void Grubs, but University of Ottawa is down there to attempt to stop them from getting even a singular grub. First grub goes to Ottawa. Let's see what's happening here. But Point Park comes in. The entire team there to back Kakid up and take 2 grubs. 2 grubs is better than no grubs. Let's go.
they ain't got no grubs. They have 2. And that, like you talked about, is very, very big. So, you know, only, I guess, a net 2 grubs, if you will. And the kills, you know, gotten back by Point Park. So they have that gold lead now. They have that kill lead. And they have some grubs as well as a dragon. So, I mean, that is pretty big.
They just need to use these grubs and that drag to push in towers, take a couple plates, maybe get an entire tower if they're lucky. But don't push too far, because if you push too far, they might get you. Looks like Blitzcrank's going to come around the corner, try and clear some wards, completely unaware to Lux, Mordekaiser, and Fizz.
Yes.
Lux gets a stun off, the Caitlyn ult comes down from out of lane, and Fizz gets the kill on Blitzcrank. Fizz is also right in there, attacking that Karthus.
Yeah, Ribeiro is in there like swimwear, trying to get this kill, and does manage to get it as that kill is secure.
It looks like that's the Karthus ult off, but it does not do enough to take Fizz's life. Nujabi is going in on Aatrox under his own tower. Tower is now targeting Aatrox, and it looks like their Lee Sin is going to try and come up and be like, hey, you can't do that. However, Point Park is on the Hex Tech Drake. They're going to be taking that. It's pretty good, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I mean, a second dragon on the board, I believe, coming in shortly. Yep, there it is. And you know, something else important is Nujabi's never ended up going down. Yes, that turret does go down, but
looks like Blitzcrank is ghosting, doing a lot of damage. Caitlyn is alone and cannot save herself. Oh no, she gets a kill on Blitzcrank. Never mind, I stand corrected. I assumed incorrectly. Caitlyn is just kiting this Karthus. However, Karthus does get the shutdown on Caitlyn, but Lux is here to try and take that Karthus down, avenge Caitlyn. Fizz comes around the corner to help out with that. The stun goes out, Fizz dashes in, the electrocute proc goes off, and the Storm Surge proc kills that Blitzcrank. No, Karthus, my bad. However, MXT is now 5-0 and is about to take down the second top tower.
I mean, it's something that you kind of see in all games really is, you know, you lose space in somewhere, you gain space somewhere else, and that's exactly what happened. Bot space went towards the favor of Point Park, and top space then goes in response to uOttawa as they get that top tower. Ooh, the chain hook just missing.
Let's see here.
I really like Ribeiro on this Fizz pick, by the way. I think it really matches his play style, and it's been really working out very well for him.
I agree 100%. This is working fantastically in his favor. He's going in, dashing around, doing tons of damage. He does really well at catching people out.
Yeah, I mean, especially like when you get those like last second kind of flanks in, you know, coming in from that jungle area with, you know, maybe somebody entertained with either the top or bottom lane. You know, what I would like to see from Point Park now is either helping out, I would say, that top lane with Nujabes there, or maybe just try and make a move over towards that bottom lane because you have been so strong down there.
It's a really hard choice to make because the safer pick is definitely to hard push on that bot lane and keep up that lead, or in the mid lane, keep that lead up going up there. However, you cannot let that Aatrox get more fed. You cannot let him take more towers. But at the same time, it's risky to go up there and help because you might be giving him more kills. If you go up there and give that Aatrox a double kill, now he's extra ahead, and it's not the most fun experience. However, it does look like uOttawa is going for the Rift Herald. Point Park coming around the corner to try and steal it, but not fast enough. Blue team gets the Rift Herald.
And yeah, you can see all 4 of those players got there just not in the nick of time, and so that is going to allow for them to get that buff for their team. And yes, we kind of have a little bit of a fight coming out afterwards, but nothing dangerous, just some more poke at the end of the day.
It looks like the top laners have now in the bot lane. The bot laners are now in the mid lane, and the mid laners are kind of in the top lane, sort of. Point Park's mid laner is, at least.
We got musical chairs in League of Legends.
MXT going in on Nujabes. He's under Point Park's tower. They're not able to do anything against this man as he just goes to town on that tower. However, Kakid right around the corner to try and help. Blitzcrank right around the corner to try and help out MXT. Clearing out wards, getting those visions, not letting us play hide and seek champ like the cheating way. I said champs, not cheating. That was my bad.
Not the champ way, because cheating is not for champs. Cheating is for chumps.
Exactly.
Bingo. Has nothing to do with hide and seek. Unless you're playing hide and seek bingo, but I don't think you would be. Be very
How would
strange.
you even play hide and seek bingo?
I know. I don't want to know. Yeah, maybe you like draw the ball from the thing and then you just like go chuck it into a forest or something.
Maybe. However, it does look like nope. uOttawa was looking at ganking set down in the bot lane, but they don't really do anything about that. They just kind of leave it be. I think if they would have engaged on that, they probably would have got him on the tower. Blitzcrank hits the hook on Lux, pulling her out of the dragon pit and into the tower. Lux ult goes out. Caitlyn ult goes out, takes the kill on Eastern Heart. Mordekaiser comes. Ooh,
That was a big root.
that was. Karthus ult coming down to smite everybody from the heavens. Corki comes in, gets a shutdown on the Lux. Set suplexes Aatrox, but not with enough time. Karthus gets the shutdown on Caitlyn.
And it looks like Kakid's most likely going to fall here as well. Putting up a bit of a fight. Might be able
However,
to get one and does. Gets Durag and escapes with his life. So
however, uOttawa does get mid tower from that. That Aatrox is terrifying. What's really bad about the top lane getting fed is there's not much people can do against a very fed top laner.
yeah, I mean, the problem is Point Park, they have been able to establish some leads, but they haven't been able to take down any turrets. So that lead, you know, if you don't
Can
put it
only do
into
so
statistics,
much.
right, doesn't do everything for you.
Looks like Ribero's gonna get caught out, but has enough escape that it's not much of a problem for him. Looks like both teams are going to be circulating around the mid lane now, maybe trying to set up for that drag, that Infernal Drake. Let's see here. Blitzcrank gets the hook on Ribeiro and shuts down Fizz. Fizz is now out of the fight for the Dragon Pit fight. I said,
Fight pit, dragon fight pit,
yeah.
pit fight dragon.
And it does not look like Point Park can do anything about that. So this Drake might just go to uOttawa, just so Point Park can live with their lives. Lux gets Blitzcrank hooked into the entire enemy team, and they cannot do anything as they shut down Ive once again. It looks like Akid's gonna fall here as well.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, you lose one, and then that results in you losing another, and that's another 30 seconds that comes down, and it results in another red turret going down. I mean, this goal disadvantage for Point Park, it's visible, and you know, as much as they have more kills, they gotta put it into either turret damage, they gotta put it into this gold advantage, and they gotta find a way to kind of select this out. But now you've got Nujabi's just kind of fighting a 1v3 in top, and
they're just bullying him.
Yeah,
Lux comes in around the corner to try and help out. Blitzcrank is very low. Is now on a killing spree, being 5-5, getting that kill on Nujabi's.
And Eastern Heart, although low, able to heal up a little bit, get out scot-free. And Point Park really needs to hit the reset button and figure out what they want to do with this kind of advantage that is slipping, I would say. It's just, it's painful to see that, you know, they had such a strong start and they're kind of losing it, but Point Park definitely still in this game. They just need to convert it into some sort of damage. I believe 2 towers. We could see a pretty big team fight coming up here.
And it looks like the Baron Nashor has spawned, which will now change the buffs to Void buffs.
If I know one thing about Voids, it's that they're powerful.
This is true.
Voids are powerful. No matter, you know, what sense, what game, what mythology, I don't even know what you want to call it, but
it looks like Kakid, Nujabi's, and Ive all trying to go in on this Corki. However, Corki does so much damage, takes out Kakid, is going in on Nujabi's, doing so much damage to him, and gets another kill. They cannot do anything about this little man and this little helicopter.
Yeah, and that's going to be big because that takes out those players that could be fighting for this
Baron.
Uh-oh, it's going to be close, but luckily there's a shutdown for the side of Point Park. And
maybe is Point Park going to try and steal this Baron from Ottawa? Aatrox is chasing that Fizz away, not allowing him to go in and do anything about the Baron. The Lux ult comes out, trying to maybe scare away Aatrox and Blitzcrank. However, the Baron goes to University of Ottawa.
Yeah, so that is going to be big. I believe that is, you know, every buff that is on one player now goes to everyone on that same team. So that's going to be big in terms of team fights. Everyone's going to be having that extra boost. And, you know, Point Park, I said this kind of last game, they got to find a way to bring this advantage back, I would say.
Another thing with the Baron buff, it lets your team recall faster as long as it's up. It's not permanent, but it is nice to be able to escape with your life whenever you're getting run down, just by hiding in a bush and hurry up and recalling. And as well, it buffs up your minions to allow you to push towers better. It looks like the objective bounty has been claimed. Point Park gets a bot tower.
Hey, that's something.
It is something.
They've been looking for it, and they've been trying to finally get it, and they finally do. I don't know if that was based off of positioning or something of that sort, but you can assume if Point Park's going to take something, what's the theory? uOttawa is going to take something in return. And the question is, what is that? Or did they make a mistake?
It does look like Aatrox is in the top lane again. Blitzcrank rotating up towards the top lane to maybe take that tower. It is at half health. Is Fizz alone enough to stop these two from taking that tower?
Find out next at the series.
Fizz goes in, tries to do a bunch of damage to Aatrox, gets him to half health. However, Aatrox has so much healing. Is that enough to be able to take him out?
From behind. This tower is going to go down, it looks like it.
Set suplexes Aatrox away from the fight. Kakid going in, trying his best to take out that Karthus. However, MXT, being godlike, takes out Set. And the Karthus ult goes out. Lux is down. Gets a double kill, taking out the Mordekaiser. Lee Sin goes in, takes out Caitlyn. It might be a team wipe here. Hoping Ribeiro can keep himself safe and make sure he does not go into the team right now. It is best for him just to defend, but I don't know if he can defend against the entire enemy team.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very tall task. And opting to try and minimize damage, but
He goes in, maybe tries to get a pick on the Corki, but can't do anything with Blitzcrank standing right there. Aatrox in the mid lane, taking the mid tower. Ribeiro is doing fantastic, just fending them off, making sure that they don't get the top tower. However, it is not enough when there's 2 of them there against him. However, the rest of Point Park is back alive now.
And I would say that, uOttawa is kind of a lower HP. Of course, they can get healed up and they can choose to recall, as you see there. But, I mean, that is a buffer that they have, that 10 seconds or so, as well as the time running back. So it is something that they will take as an advantage. Well played by Ribeiro to at least try and minimize some damage and stay alive.
And it looks like Point Park is clearing out some vision, making sure that Ottawa can't see them when they're running around their jungle, which is great because you want to at least be able to run around your own jungle.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your home, you don't want someone else's spy cameras in your own home.
Exactly.
That's not fun.
That's like the worst ever.
Yes, I would like to live in my own home in peace, please. Thank you.
Up Lux gets Blitzcrank hook over the wall, jumps over the wall, saving... I've just saved his life right there. However, the Karthus ult comes out, does a lot of damage, but does not look like it was enough damage to claim anyone's life. Nunjabi is not able to stop Aatrox, and his reign, I can't think of the word.
Reign of Terror?
Yeah, Reign of Terror. Goes out, tries to do a bunch of damage, escapes with his life for now. Goes back to heal. University of Ottawa is in Point Park's base as we speak.
Yeah, Point Park needs to find something here. Hopefully can turn the tides, and you see a lot of damage start to come out, so this might force them back, but of course, I believe there is something, and there's a red turret destroyed once again. A shutdown coming out as well. I mean, you just got Point Park just on the back end of all of this, and they're trying to salvage what they can, but there's only so much you can do when you're down this much, and they get hooked in again.
The Blitzcrank ult goes out. Nunjabi suplexes him away, gets a kill, gets a second kill. That's a double kill on set. They get a stun off on the Aatrox, pulling him in, trying to do a bunch of damage, but Aatrox does get another kill off.
Wow.
Lee Sin gets a double kill. It is now a 2v2, it looks like, in Point Park's base, but the fight is going in favor of University of Ottawa. Aatrox just goes in under Point Park's tower and gets a double kill. That is an ace for University of Ottawa. And this ace might just win the game.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, Aatrox?
Aatrox.
Aatrox has just been doing so much work, and this might be the end of it all. I mean, 5 seconds remaining on the next respawn, but
not enough time. That is game.
Yeah, I mean, Point Park, they had the lead towards the beginning of that game, but not able to convert it into at least a tower or some space made, and it allowed for uOttawa to come on back and take this one.
And it's really, really unfortunate. Just like you were talking about before that, I think it was before that game, you were talking about how Point Park always does really well in their early game. And the way the middle of the game goes kind of determines how the rest of the game goes. I think we've seen that pretty much right here.
Hey, I don't know much about Point Park League of Legends, but what I do know is correct.
This is true.
I mean, the determining factor was that
the
mid-round.
late game, yeah. And it's unfortunate that we lost, but what's important here is that we all had fun and we all enjoyed playing in the game, watching the game, or even casting the game. And I know I had a great time casting.
Yeah, I mean, I survived the League of Legends.
You did?
Trade. And
How do you feel?
I learned characters' names, some of them.
Did.
I learned Nocturne is broken, kinda. Aatrox is just, he's a beefy guy.
He's really fun to play, though. I picked him up recently.
Yeah, and props to, University of Ottawa, GG's, 2-0 in their favor, and, Point Park falls short. They're going to fall to 0-1 on the CLOL season.
However, it is only the beginning of the season, and we can only go up from here.
True. You can't get less than 0 wins.
Exact. Or, we did really good in the second game. We just have to keep practicing and get even better than that.
Right. I mean, you saw, they kind of struggled in that first game a little bit, and now the second game they're improving. So right, it can only go up from here. Like you said, they know what they want to do. They, maybe wiping the rust off, I guess you could say, and they figured out what their problems were, figured out what they need to improve on, and now they're going to go into this next game having this competition, kind of this practice under their belt in a competitive setting, and they're going to go into this next game fully ready for
whatever comes their way.
Right, whatever comes their way.
And we just got to hope that maybe next time it goes a bit more in their favor. And again, if it doesn't, what's important is that we're here to have fun.
Fun, because, fun, competitive games, esports.
Exactly.
Which, big news, by the way, for those of you guys that do not know, coming up in the future of esports here at Point Park. Point Park is moving from NAIA to NCAA, which is going to create a whole lot of different standards because NCAA sees esports a little bit differently than NAIA does. So stay tuned for those changes coming in the future. And yeah, we're going to be having some big things. But remember, make sure to check out the socials. We got everything you could literally ask for. I mean, at this point, if you're not following our socials, as Mason would say, rest in peace his soul. He didn't die. He just graduated. But, as he would say, if you aren't following the socials, what are you doing?
Exactly. You need to be here. You need to follow our socials because we're awesome and you want to see more of us. I'm subliminally messaging this into your mind. You want to follow us and you should do it.
All right. Well, my name is Ari, also known as XPJ.
And I'm Gail, also known as Spooky Hand Soap on literally everything. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.